Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Hello Studio Live. Happy Tuesday. I always have to look and see what day it is anymore. I feel like I'm just doing so many things, have my fingers in so many little pots that I'm like, what's today? What's going on? Even though I know the day all day, but anyway, I get here and I'm like, what day is it? Happy Chinese New Year. It's the year of the horse. I wore my red. According to Beth, we should wear red today for, I think, prosperity. It's my big poofy sleeve. Oh my gosh, this thing has the most massive sleeves, and I just absolutely adore it. It's so cozy and warm and poofy and silly. Hello, Jill. What a day. How are you? I'm doing okay. How about you? It has been a day. We've had our traditional Oregon spring type weather. It We woke up to snow on the ground, which it doesn't usually snow here. It's very moderate. It's usually like 40s, 50s in the winter. So for it to snow is pretty. Oh, yes, you're the fire horse. It's even more cool. um, for it to snow here is pretty unusual. And then we had just kind of, I don't want to call it thunderstorms because we don't have any thunder and lightning with it, but it's this wild like journey here in the Pacific Northwest where you start out with snow on the ground and it's cold and cloudy and dark, and then the sun beams out and you're like, oh, this is wonderful. And then before you know it, it's hailing, and then it's raining, and then it's sprinkling, and then the sun's out, and then it's hailing, and then the sun's out, and then it's snowing. Oh my gosh, it snowed this afternoon. Big, huge flakes. Hopefully my washing machine is not loud on the mic. Can you guys hear my washing machine? I'm really nervous. It's noisy. Washing machines are noisy. Um, and it's outside the house, but just in a utility room, just on the other side of the wall. So it's not like far away or anything. So, yes, it was a wild weather day. And our pellet stove broke. So, yay for that. Thank goodness we have other heating sources, electric heaters, and stuff. So, that is good. Oh, good. Jill says she can't hear the washing machine. Thank goodness. It's really noisy when it spins. Um, so, uh, yeah. Oh, and I had to go outside and do a panic cover of all of my plants on the deck because it's supposed to be colder tonight. There's a freeze warning. So all of my plants usually can make it no problem as long as it stays in the like mid 30s. But as soon as it gets closer to 32 or below, oh, watch out. Everything will get frostbitten. I'll lose a bunch of plants. So I was out there today with my garden plastic. I have this like semi-clear garden plastic. It's not all the way clear. It's like kind of, yeah, semi-clear. I don't know how else to describe it. Anyway, so I got to go out there and unfold all the pieces because I have them all folded up tidy in a bin. And so I have to go out and unfold all the pieces, put them across all the plants, use clamps to get, hold it down because otherwise the wind or whatever will blow it away. So yeah, it's an adventure. So I was out there panic doing that in the rain, come in soaking wet and cold. Thank goodness it's warm and cozy in here. And I was just thinking how thankful I am that we don't live somewhere that it's like truly cold, like back east where they're in the teens and tens even. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. So I'm very thankful for that. I don't think our electric heaters could keep up with that. So thank goodness that we live in a moderately temperate place. I think our, oh, I'm losing my voice. I think our high today was like 52. So not super warm, but not as cold as other people. Thank goodness. I feel like, oh yeah, it's my light today. Interesting. I feel like my light is causing a lot of refraction on my glasses, but I also think it might be my camera lens making it kind of blurry. I don't know. Anyway, So today we are going to play with Affinity, which is Canva's solution, basically answer to people not having Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, the Adobe suite, Creative Suite. It doesn't do everything. You know, it's not Premiere Pro. It's not all the things. It's not Firefly. I don't know if it has any AI. We can check that out. But I've started playing around in it a little bit, see how I can use it. I want to give you guys another tool that you can use that isn't as expensive as having the Adobe Creative Suite. And Affinity is free forever. But you do have to have a Canva account. And then some of the features you have to have a pro Canva account to use. Like tonight, we're going to use the background remover, and that's actually Canva's background remover integrated into Affinity. And it's the best background remover, I think. I feel like it's better than Adobe Photoshop. I hate to say that, Adobe Photoshop, because I've been a loyal fan of theirs since inception. So, but I really do love Canva's background remover. I feel like it does such a clean job. And Photoshop still gives me some weird edges and stuff like that. Or it'll hit and miss, or if the person's wearing white, and the background's white, it has a hard time discerning the difference between the white of the background and the white of the outfit and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, I really love Canva's background remover, and that's in Affinity. So we're going to use that tonight. And I'm just going to make up the ads that we do tonight, but I did have another idea for a different live that we'll do upcoming one night. I'm not sure when, where we can learn to use the anatomy of really good ads to create ads for ourselves. So that's another fun thing that we can do one night. Yes, Jill says Canva's background remover is great. It really is. I mean, it's just fabulous. I love it. So, let me open Affinity. Sorry, I restarted my computer right before this because it was acting really weird and sluggish. And I think that's because I was uploading some huge video files to SmugMug for my client. And one of the files, just one file, was 700 megs. And I had 20 of those. And so it was like a lot of stuff going through, and I feel like it was clogging up my everything. So I restarted. Okay, so now I have Affinity, and I can go to, I think I'm going to need to do entire screen, even though that gives us the, the million blooms. Because I want you to see any like layer things that pop up or whatever inside of the app. So let me, I'm going to share sound in case we decide to do sound at all. And then, and we're going to get a million of me. Okay. And then we're going to go to Affinity. I want to make this a little smaller so I can see the chat in case you have questions as we go. And let's make sure you can see Affinity. Yes, you could. That's the other thing too, is I can't go over and see you guys, see what you see without giving you the million blooms again. Okay, so here we have Affinity open. It looks kind of like Photoshop, not much like Illustrator to me, and not like InDesign at all to me, but it does do some cool things. Oh, and I do see Canva AI up here at the top. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, we know it has the background remover, so that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to work on my baby Blume products again. I know. That's all we do anymore. And so I'm going to open an image in Affinity. And all I did was go to my folder, right click on the image and say open with Affinity. And I chose Affinity right here. And then I'm going to create a new document. And I'm just going to go file to new. And what's nice is this they set it up as close to Photoshop as possible without like without doing anything proprietary of Photoshop's. I'm going to go oversized magazine because I like that shape. And I'm just going to say create document. So now I've got a blank document and I need to move you guys back up front in case I can see. Hi, Beth. Hi, Beth. Welcome, welcome. See, I couldn't see for a minute. Oh, I'm so sorry, Beth, that you couldn't get on live. I went and looked for you, but I saw your message that you sent me that you couldn't get on. Oh, you did make it on. Oh, I missed it. I'm so sorry. Hi, Delane. Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. We're going to have fun in Affinity. All we've done is open Affinity, open and create a new document, which is just file to new, and open my image here. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to select it by tapping it, clicking on it, and I'm going to do Command C to copy, and I'm going to move it over into my new document. And I'm going to make this smaller to fit. And I'm not going to worry too much if it cuts a little bit off of the background because it's all about the onesie more than anything else. So there's my document. It feels very similar to Photoshop in this way, in this respect, if you're familiar with Photoshop. If you're not and you're used to Canva, it's going to feel a little bit different, but that's why I wanted to go through this today in case you might want to try it for yourself since it's free. Okay, so I'm going to click on this again. And over here, you can see that we have layers underneath this color triangle wheel thing here. Under here, we have these layers. And what I want to do is copy this layer. So I am going to do Command C again and Command V. And I'm not going to touch those because I want them to stay in exactly the same place. Because I'm going to use the background and the foreground. The baby will be the foreground and the background will be the living room. And I'm going to, now I'm in this layer, the top layer. So that's perfect. And I already have it selected. And so I'm going to do background remover. And so the thing about Affinity is that because it's got Illustrator abilities, Photoshop abilities, and InDesign abilities all within the one app, you have to choose the right thing up here at the top. We're not working on vector right now, so we're not going to choose this vector menu. We're working on pixel images, which, are photos. Anything that's a photo, Midjourney, anything that's not a vector, basically, a JPEG, PNG. I know vectors can be PNGs too, of course, but okay, so we're going to go here and I'm going to go to pixel and then I'm going to go down to remove background. Now, see how it has a little crown? This is one of the things that you'd have to have Canva Pro to be able to use, but you'd have to have that to use it in Canva as well. So I'm going to hit remove background and it's going to think for a second. Oh, Beth says she meant that she made it here. She didn't make it to her live. I'm so sorry you didn't make it to your live. Happy Chinese New Year. I wore my red just for you. Well, not just for you, but because you said that was something we should do. And I did not wash my hair. Put it up in a bun. Beth said she just got everything working now. Oh, good. Delane asks, is Affinity a standalone platform or part of another? It's a standalone platform, but it is a sister company or a part of Canva. I'm not sure which. I'm not sure if Canva bought Affinity and now it's a part of Canva or if they're just working together with a collab in that Canva elements are inside Affinity, but it is a program you download and use on your computer desktop. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Okay, so now I've removed the background and you can see my selection here is just around the baby. Perfection. What I want to do is add some text between the baby and the background to make it look really snazzy and like a really professional ad. So I'm going to click here on text, and you can either create a paragraph box or artistic text, which that's what we want. We just want text. So you can either click on the screen and just start having text, or you can click and choose your size, which this is kind of fun, actually. I don't think Photoshop does this. I've never gotten it to do this before. And so I think that's really fun. I'm going to go ahead and do that and choose my size. And then I'm going to type in baby Blume. Actually, I want it on 2 lines. Blume. Okay, so now I have my text, and I obviously don't want it to be this or over the baby, etc. So let's do all the things that will make the text happy in the way that I want it. First of all, I want it to be all caps. So I'm going to go up here at the top, and next to here we have increase font size, decrease font size, or you can use this little, point selector, or you can type it into the little box and choose your point selection. Next to that is this change case. And that's what we're going to use right now because I want it to be all caps. And I'm going to say all uppercase. Cool. So now I have baby Blume. And that makes the letters bigger. I'm thinking I'm going to want it about there, but we'll see once I pick a font. And then we're going to go through the fonts. Now, this is something fun that Photoshop also has where you can go over the font and see it in action on your document. I really love that. It makes it really fun and easy to pick a font. There was one that I really liked. Oh, am I going to remember what it was? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, it was so cute. I was playing around earlier. Da, 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 da. Where is that cute font? I have spent hours and hours and hours, so many hours choosing fonts for projects. I think that's one of the biggest time consuming parts of creating products for customers, clients, is that you're always trying to choose the best font that goes with their, oh, here it is. I really liked this Fiverr outline. Yeah. Is this the one? Oh, or is that the one? No, this one. That one. Okay. So I really like this font. It's really cute. Oh, yeah. Check recent fonts. I wonder if it was in there. Let's see. Recent. It was. Thanks, Jill. Yep. It was right there. Fiverr. Okay. So now I do not like how modern typography automatically puts the sentences or the lines really far spaced apart. To me, that just doesn't make any sense visually. Our words that go together should be closer together. And then if you have other words that you want to, other sentences or words or sale or whatever else that is separate from that, that's cool. Pull that away somewhere else. But when the words go together, like baby Blume, they should be on top, together, not like so far apart. And that's just something all the apps seem to do now. Even Photoshop does it. So I'm always adjusting line spacing. And what we're going to do is go up here. First, we have paragraph here. Let's center align this. And then I'm going to go here to paragraph leading. And you can see if we go really small, then it's going to be on top of each other. But we want to go probably about there. Looks pretty good. I like that. And then I want to change the color. So I'm going to double click on this black square where it's black, and I'm just going to click on the white and make sure that my little circle is dragged as far into the white as possible. And there we go. Now I have some fun text. It's eye-catching, it's cute, but it's still over the baby's face. So we're going to go into our layers over here under the color triangle circle. That's what we're going to call it, the color triangle circle. And I'm going to click and drag that layer under the baby. And because we already took the background off the baby, as we can see in our layer panel here, it's just a baby, then our text, then our baby in background. Now, ta-da! We have our text between our baby and our background. And we look cool, we look hip, we look in style. This is a really popular thing to do these days with text. It just makes it look embedded in the scene. It makes it look more intentional. It's just kind of a really fun trick to do. So I really like this. I'm really digging it. And I think I want to also put a website, and I'm not sure what else yet. So let's go back to text, and I'm just going to go about that big, and I'm just clicking and dragging to choose the size. And I'm going to say www.boutique.com. And then I'm going to change that font because that's too hard to read for a website, in my opinion, especially down here at the bottom. So something that is missing, and I bet you there's guides. Let's see here. File to edit, document, looking for guides. View, clip to canvas, lock guides. No, I don't want to do guides that way. I want to have them, let's see, can I get a ruler? No. Maybe if I go here to window, I can open a ruler. And this is, one of the things you have to learn with a new software is where is everything? Yeah, I don't see. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. I just don't see it right now. Show. Here we go. Maybe this will show. Rulers. We found it. Oh, and guess what? It's Command R, which is the same as in Photoshop and Illustrator. So that's fantastic. So then I'm going to click inside the ruler, and I'm going to drag a guide to halfway the center of our document, because that is something that I noticed that Photo doesn't have, that Photoshop has, is as you're moving your text around, or let me select the baby Blume again. As I move this around, it'll give me a little blue line letting me know when it's centered. So instead, I'm just going to make my own blue line and then visually choose center. And it might be a little bit off center, but I want it to look just right. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here and change the font of my, I really like this impact font of my website, and I want it to be all caps also. So I'm going to say uppercase, and then I'm going to make it smaller, and I think I'll make it yellow. See, and we do have that, like this little turning it around bar, like the angling it bar, where you can turn the text around, upside down, angles, sideways. And so you can put that bar right in the middle on your guide that you created, and then you can see that it's centered. So let's see, was this one centered? Almost. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this and I want to change the color. So I'm going to double click the white circle and I'm going to go, I think I want it to be yellow. If I can find a yellow that shows up enough on the scene. And, you know, sometimes I go out of brand colors. Sometimes I'll go with all brand colors. But with product ads, I don't worry as much about brand colors as I do about it feeling like the brand. As you can see, I've gone off with the font. I've done a different kind of font, but as long as it feels fun and funky, that's the fun thing about advertising is that you can be a little more selective, more creative. That's the word I want to use. More creative with your advertising materials than, you know, being strictly on brand. Okay, so close. And then, you know, I wouldn't want to go so far off brand to make this like everything's purple now. It doesn't make any sense for the colors of the brand, you know, or the fonts are so crazy. Like all the fonts are 6 different fonts and then none of them match the brand. That's when you start to get a little bit too wacky. Okay, and so then one more thing I want to do here is the leading between the letters is too tight, in my opinion. So I'm going to click on this here, and leading is the space between the letters. And this was our line spacing. So now I want leading. Let's see here. Let's go to text and say spacing. And I'm just going to say loosen. Perfect. Actually, that's fine. That's totally fine. I just needed it to be not so tight together. I don't like it when the letters are so tight together that it makes it hard to read. You want people to be able to read it like at a glance. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Let's see. Beth says, sorry if you already said this. Would you use Affinity instead of Photoshop or instead of working in Canva directly? Is this winning you over to be your new workflow? That's a good question. If I was in a hurry, I would just go straight to Photoshop because I know Photoshop in and out. I know where all the tools are. And as you can see, I'm having to kind of find where things are in here. But I think once I know more where things are in here, this absolutely could become a replacement for Photoshop. It just, we'll have to just keep pushing it and see if it really can do all the things. Of course, I love that it has Canva's background remover because Canva's background remover is better than Photoshop's background remover. So for this sort of design, I might go in here anyway. It really is up to your comfortability, your flexibility. What I do love is that this is on the desktop, so I don't need the internet. Let's say my internet's down or I just want to work quickly. Although Canva is really fast. There could be reasons for working in here as opposed to in Canva. It's just a really nice way to have a desktop app that you don't have to fight with the internet app and find all the tools. It's more like if you are somewhat familiar with Photoshop, this is probably going to be a really nice tool to switch to if you'd like to save the money and not have to buy Photoshop anymore. I haven't used a lot of the vector stuff yet. We'll use more and more of it over time, and we'll see. If I ever do decide to drop Photoshop and all of that, I'll let you guys know for sure. Jill says, definitely cool, hip, and on trend. Looks nifty. Aren't we all a little bit off center? Yes. Oh, and did I answer your question about what's kerning? Kerning is just the space between the letters. And sometimes you might want, the cool thing about kerning, and this is going to be just like way too advanced if you're not into typography, but The cool thing about kerning is you can get really, really specific. And you would, if you were doing a project for like Coca-Cola or something, we would not just use this baby Blume font as it is. We would make sure that the spacing between every single letter is accurate and that it all makes sense and looks really good together. So, for example, like between this O and this M, I feel like the spacing is a little wide compared to the other spacing between letters. And so I could go here and select the O and the M, and then I could go to the kerning. See, now this is going to be a drawback for this as far as doing that high end of an ad campaign for someone, because they only had that they just have tighten, loosen more. And so I'm sure you could keep doing tighten, loosen, depending on what you wanted until you got it to be where you wanted it to be. But in Photoshop, you can go in and gently, point by point, nudge them together or nudge them farther apart. And that is a better fine tuning of fonts. And that's, this is a free app. So the fact that it doesn't have that, does that make pro designers get rid of their Photoshop? Probably not, right? Okay, so I'm going to just say tighten here a little bit and see how it moved them together a little. And so I'm going to try it just a little bit more because I feel like it could go just a teeny bit more. And look how much nicer that is. And that's the sort of thing you would do, like I said, if you're doing a higher end project. If you're just doing a project for an online social media ad, you're probably not going to fuss with that sort of thing so much. Perfectionism is the killer of progress. And so you want to, my new motto for everyone that asks me, I'm like, done is better than perfect, because perfect doesn't exist and perfect will keep you from ever publishing anything. So done is better than perfect every time. And, I would reduce the spacing between this A and B. I mean, now that we're looking at the font, I'm like, there are some spacing issues. And that's okay. We're going to leave it as is. But that is what kerning is. Okay. What if you want a color that is in the image, say the blue in the blocks? Is there a way to grab that color so the text will be the same color as the blue block? Oh, yeah, I imagine so, but let's see. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to click my eyedropper up here in this color palette. There's also an eyedropper here. So let's see if I can do that here. There we go. And then it turned it to the blue. And yeah, I do like doing that sort of thing, Delane. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because it is fun to make it match-ish, make it kind of fun. Picking a yellow from here would be cool if it stands out enough. No, those are all pretty dark. But we could do like a cream. No. Maybe this yellow. No, just a little too dark. So yeah, it does have this little eyedropper there. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go back to my cursor and just say undo until I get back to my yellow. There we go. Okay, Jill says, what does the AI do in Affinity? Does it have something similar to Photoshop merge? I know that's not the right word. Oh yeah, that's a great question. Let's see if it does. I think Canva AI just does. The Canva AI Studio brings generative AI and machine learning tools together to assist you in your process. Oh, I see. We can generate an image. We can generate a vector. Oh, in fact, let's generate a vector. I'm glad you asked about that, because I want to generate a vector and make something cute on here, like a little star or something to grab attention. So let's do a star. Oh no, maybe a heart. Let's do a heart. And I just typed in heart and pressed enter. And while that works, I'll see what other questions we have. I don't think it has that Photoshop tool. What is it in Photoshop? Let's go look real quick. It might be called merge. You might have it right. No. Is that it? Why can't I think of what it is? Let's open this gal and see if, what is it called? Oh, I generated that, so it's not going to work. Select subject. It's not going to do it because I don't. Okay, let me deselect. I need to bring something in that is an object. Open recent. Let me see. Do I have any objects? Don't have any objects. Okay, let me find something. Let me just bring in this as an object. Just so I can see what it's called. Okay, so I put that on there. And I'm just gonna just make it smaller so we can see it on here. And it is, okay, done. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. Harmonize, that's what it's called. So let's harmonize that and just see what happens for funsies. So it looks like Affinity does not have the harmonize though. Because Canva doesn't have it either. So that kind of makes sense that Affinity doesn't have it. You know, Photoshop's got to try to have something that other apps don't have. That's for sure. They got to stay ahead. And it did. It did merge it, you know, to be the same kind of lighting and coloring, whereas it was brighter here and then merged it in. So yeah, that's harmonize. Okay, so we got a heart and it's atomical. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to delete and I'm going to say heart shape. And hopefully I'm just get a heart shape. Actually, I should show you. They have a cute, I wonder if we could do a vector inside of a pixel image. Oh, that's a fun idea. Sorry for the many me's. Okay. Beth says she'd love to learn more about vectors, like how to turn a PNG into a vector. I've never done that before. Someday. Yeah, you know, I am not as good at Marisol as doing that, but yeah, it is something that I think would be fun to work on. Usually when I create in vector, I create it in vector to start. I never got very good at turning a pixel thing into a vector because I never needed to, because if I needed a vector file, I started with a vector with Adobe Illustrator with a vector app so that it was vector from the start. There was no having to vectorize the image. But now that we have AI and apps like Ideogram that can create these really cool logos for us, that's where we want to take them in and turn them into vector. But you don't need vector for almost like 99.9% of things. So please do not stress about vectorizing your logo or whatever until you really do need it. You don't need a vector of it, anything, until it needs to be really, really big and not show the pixeled edges and the pixelation in the image. Okay, so now I've got this heart, but I kind of want it to be have no background. So I'm going to see if I can go back to my if I go to pixel. Okay, let's see if I can remove the background from this heart. I'll go pixel, remove background, no. So I cannot. Okay, well, I don't want that. All right, so I'm just going to delete this heart that I made. And I'm going to go to vector. And I'm going to go to, I think it's right here. Okay, to their shape tool. They have rectangles or whatever else. But this is really fun that Photoshop doesn't have. They have a star now, finally. People were begging for a star in Illustrator for like a gazillion years, and they finally added a star. So they have like square, circle. I don't know if there's a rounded rectangle tool, but you can make a rounded rectangle by using a rectangle and then rounding the edge at the corners. There's a triangle. I don't think there's a diamond. So anyway, there's polygonal. But then on here on Affinity, they have double star tool, square star tool, arrow tool, donut, pie, segment, crescent, cog, cloud, call out, like the little dialogue boxes, tier, and a heart, and a spiral, and a QR code. So I'm going to do the heart, and I'm just going to draw it as big as I want. And as you can see, it's like morphing the size, and that's just me clicking and dragging. If I click the heart and I hold down shift, it will keep the dimensions perfectly centered, but that's how I like it. Okay, so there's our little heart, and I think I want to make it like hot pink or something. Kind of fun. I'm just clicking in here in this box just to kind of get a starting point, and then I can double click the color picker to, okay. I think I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna curve it a little. And what's fun is I was able to put this, oops, I forgot to hold shift. I was able to put this vector graphic into my pixel image. And now that's something that Adobe doesn't do, because you can bring a vector graphic into Photoshop, but you would have to export it as a PNG from Illustrator, bring it into Photoshop, and then once you bring it into Photoshop, it's going to be a pixel graphic. It's not going to stay a vector, which is fine for our use case. We're just making this ad for the internet, so it doesn't have to be anything, high quality or whatever. But yeah, I think, I keep forgetting. With vectors, you have to hold the shift key to keep your proportions. And with, where do I want this heart? I don't know yet. I just thought I wanted a heart on there, but I don't want to cover up some of the things. I was thinking maybe it could be a heart that says sale or whatever. Yeah, I just feel like it'd be cute like that. I don't know what I'm doing. Now I feel like it should be yellow, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to add some text. Oh, I'm going to click off of that heart. I'm going to add some text. And I'm just going to say sale. And I'm going to curve that over and put it in my heart. Oops, it's to be. And then I'm going to make that uppercase. Something like that. Okay. Let's see here. Where are we at? I lost it. Okay. Isn't that what I said letting is? Oh, letting is Leading, I believe. I don't think there's two L's, but it's lead, like pencil lead. You get what you get. You get what you get. What you get. You get what you paid for. Yes, for sure, for sure. My friend Debbie's saying she loves to say that. You pay what you pay. You get what you get. That's what she says. Pay what you pay. You get what you get. Oh, is there a difference between kerning and leading? Yes. Kerning is the space between the letters, and leading is the space between the lines. If I think I have that right still. Beth says she's going to paste it on her forehead. Done is better than perfect. Let's all go get a tattoo. Done is better than perfect. Or write it on your mirror that you look at in the morning, so that when you look at yourself in the morning and brush your teeth, it says done is better than perfect right across your forehead. Because it's just so true. I am guilty of that. I am a perfectionist 100%. I love to fine tune the details and keep tweaking and get it just right. But I have learned with marketing, if you're going to sell products, you got to be quick and fast and get those ads made, get them out there, publish them. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If no one likes the ad and it does nothing, that's okay. You'll make another one and another one and another one until you learn what sells, and then you'll remake what sells over and over and over. You know, that type of ad over and over and over until it changes, and then you'll have to learn again, you know, and that's just the life of marketing. It's always learning what's popular right now. Like, think about it. When we were little kids, we watched Saturday morning cartoons, right? Most of us. And there were ads for toys, right? And then after the ad was on, you went to your mom and you said, Mom, I want that strawberry shortcake toy. I want that, whatever. And I want that Barbie dream house, right? We all wanted the Barbie dream house. And, but does that kind of marketing work now? Maybe on kids, I don't know, but it doesn't work on us anymore because we lived with it our whole lives. So when we see those ads come on now, we just tune out. We're like, whatever ad. But what gets us now is when real people like you and me are on camera and we say, hey, I really love this lemon mug. You got to get one. I got it at Target. Here's my link to it. Here's my affiliate link. Go buy one, you know, and then people go buy it. And that sells way more now than a commercial did back in the day. So, and that's marketing. Marketing just changes and changes and changes and changes what works and what doesn't. And so we're always just learning and testing and trying things out. Okay, so Jill says cloud head girl's dress. Harmonize. Yes, that was an image I was working on. I wanted to, the AI gave me her head is just black, you know, no face, just a black space where her face and hair would be. And I thought it'd be really cool to have clouds in there. And then when I was done with it, I was like, do I love this? Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't excited about it when I was done. Beth says, is the point or benefit of vectors is that they stay high quality as you change sizes? Absolutely. So let me show you this little, I'll get a new file. And I'm going to put this vector on here. Now what's going to happen is no matter how big I make it, let's make it just fill the whole page. Now, see how clean, how the edges are not pixelated? It's because it uses math to create the shapes versus pixels. It uses math to make the lines. And so there are no pixels. It's all just a mathematical equation to make all the shapes that come together to make the one heart shape. Like this heart shape is two circles and a triangle mathematically combined to make the heart shape. And so because that the software does that, now look how I keep zooming in. Our line is always straight, never pixelated. I can make it as big as I want. We could keep going forever and ever and ever, and it's never going to lose its hard edge, perfect line. And so that's the cool thing about a vector. That means it can be sized to any size. So if I had this ad, the only part of my ad that could go on a billboard right now is this heart vector, because it needs to be a size of a billboard. But those are the only circumstances when you need a vector, is when you need to print a large size, high quality graphic that maintains its clean line edges. So I'm going to close this. Don't save. And then I'm going to get this baby to show you the difference. And create document, put the baby. We'll make the baby fill the screen. Now we go to our magnifying glass, and you can already tell the baby's pixelated, right? So, and then it's just going to get worse and worse the bigger we make it. And the zoom in tool is showing you what it would be like if you made the baby bigger. That's why when you use upscalers, it shows you a little tiny piece. So that's zoomed in on that little tiny piece, and that's showing you what the upscale is going to do. It's going to be that high of a resolution in that tiny square. And so see, as we zoom in, we don't have that clean line, that perfect line edge, but you can't make a photo a vector either. You could make it into like a character, you know, like a more cartoony, animated, or I mean, illustrated type character, but you can't keep it a person. But see, we didn't even go in that far. The heart, I clicked zoom in like 50 times. And this we've only clicked like 5 times, and I'm already full pixels. So you would see all of this if we printed that baby on a billboard. This is what you'd see on the billboard. You'd see a lot of pixels. Now, that's why upscalers are important. That's why taking the photo in super high resolution is important. Like if you were doing a billboard ad campaign, you would hire a professional photographer, and he would shoot with a very large format negative, so that the negative was large, so that the images can be even larger. And there's all sorts of tricks and tips and things to do. But you can see our baby doesn't even hold up to a 9x12 document. So it's definitely not going to hold up to anything bigger. And even for a 9x12 printed document, like if I wanted this baby on the front of a book or a magazine, it's not high enough quality. It's only high enough quality for its little size right here. And then that could be print quality at its little size. So does that make sense? Make more sense? I know it's kind of complicated if you haven't worked with vectors and rasters. The images with the pixels are considered rasterized, and the other image, the vector graphics, are considered vectorized. Raster and vector. I just wanted to fix that sale thing there. Okay. What other questions? There's a heart tool. Yes, there's a heart tool. LED, yes. Thanks for kerning for sledding. You're welcome for the vector demonstration. Upscalers just make smaller pixels, higher resolution, but still pixelated. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You're never going to get it to change unless you vectorize the character and turn it into like an illustration or something. Oh, you know what? Actually, we already have that baby over here. I wonder if, let's see what happens if I go to vector and I say image trace. And so now it's given us a vector of the baby. We don't have a photo quality anymore. Oh, I like that. I changed the threshold a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to say apply. And now we have a vector of the baby. Now, is it exactly what we might have wanted? No, but I'm just quickly demonstrating what it does. Oh, I didn't need to. Oh, interesting. Okay. It doesn't want me to hold shift to resize, which is interesting. Okay, so now we have the baby filling the scene, and we can zoom in and see that. No more pixels, hard lines. And it takes all these, it makes tons and tons of little shapes, because vector only works with shapes because it's mathematical. It's like, did any of you use computers before there were any kind of graphics software? But before there were any graphic softwares where, could draw a circle and do things, basically Photoshop, you had to type in a little mathematical equation to make a circle. And then you typed in another one to make a triangle. And then you had to type in another equation to make the triangle go over the circle or be close to the circle or whatever. You had to move it over with the other equation. And so you would do that to try to draw some things. And it was really funny because we would draw things like, a Mickey Mouse with a circle and 2 circles for ears, and then 2 circles for eyes and a circle for the mouth, and you would just, because it's all you could do. And then it would take like all day to get all the circles to line up with the circles and etc. And so, yeah, vector is just shapes combined. And when you zoom out, now this baby could be on a billboard because it is vectored. And it could be on the billboard if we upscaled it too. Because the naked eye from far away isn't going to see the pixels on the billboard, although they will be there. Okay. What other questions? Are your illustrations all vectors for the clothes? Yes. Well, not all my clothes, but for all of these baby Blume onesies, yes. All of my illustrations are vector because I use Adobe Fresco, which is a vector drawing app. And I draw, so when I draw, you can use other brushes in Adobe Fresco that aren't vector. It has both pixel brushes and vector brushes. But I use a vector brush. I actually use a vector pen. And then I draw the illustration with the vector pen because I knew when I was drawing them that someday I would want to do something with them. And I knew if I drew them vectorized that I could break them apart and do all these different things with them. Like how we made the stickers the other night with the bird stack, and we took the birds apart, and then I'm able to use each bird for individual products, use them for a sticker sheet, use them for like all different things. And that was it was kind of like some forward thinking when I started the illustrations, that, wow, each stack could be multiple products when they're broken apart as well as together. So yeah, the illustrations are vector, but not all my product designs are vector. I have plenty of raster product designs. All my fabric patterns, most of my fabric patterns are raster. No, well, not, I shouldn't say most, maybe half and half. Delane says she learned vector on Corel Draw years ago. Yes, Corel Draw. I remember Corel. It came out, well, I don't know if it came out in line with Photoshop or shortly after, but around the same time, I think, or maybe before. Anyway, I never got used to it because I was a Photoshop girly. So every time I had to work in Corel, I was like, dang it, I don't know this app. And it's just like this, it's really more about like finding where the tools are and that kind of stuff. But when you are a busy graphic designer, you're trying to work fast, not take forever trying to find a tool. So, but now we have AI. So if you want to learn Affinity, it can be pretty quick, because you could always ask the AI, like, I can't find, you know, line spacing. I can't find leading. I can't find the paintbrush tool or whatever it is. And then you could go in. I mean, then the AI would tell you where it is and give you, step-by-step directions for finding it. So, sorry, I wanted to turn my focus back on since we're still on here. Okay. And Delane said she was never shown Photoshop. Yeah. I mean, I think it's because Photoshop was so expensive. Even back then, you had to buy the disc, and each disc was like $100. And I think the whole package was $300, which seems cheap nowadays because, yeah, it's so much more for the subscription. And you have to buy it every year. The cool thing about Photoshop is you could buy that, or even the Adobe Suite, you could buy that $300 package of all of the apps, and they didn't have as many as they do now, but you could buy that suite for $300, and then you could use it for 5 years, until you wanted the new fancy tools that the thing did. You could use that same disk for a long, long time. You just loaded it onto your computer and used it as a desktop app. Just like this Affinity app. If I never updated it again, I could still keep using it. It might not do all the new fancy sparkly things that Affinity has updated and done, but it would still work. And that's how Photoshop used to be. But when they switched to the subscription model, which was smart on their part, you have to pay every single year. But they also do update constantly, which is nice. I do appreciate that. So what do you think of our ad? I'm not sure about this heart, but I think it's really cute. I think it's really fun. Hopefully Affinity doesn't feel as scary to you anymore. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. I don't know what this tool does. Fill tool. Okay. The tools look a little bit different than Photoshop, which makes sense. I mean, I'm sure plenty of the things in Photoshop are proprietary, and so other apps are not allowed to copy it. The view tool, measure tool, distance between the object and page elements. Yeah, so we'll have to try some of these other tools at some point. But I do love, this was one of my favorite things about Affinity when I opened it up the very first time and played with the vector stuff, is that it had other shapes. I mean, how cool that you have these dialog boxes even. If you had to sit and draw that in Illustrator, it would take forever. And now we can say, sale, and put that on our dialog box instead. Oh. So hard to get to 0. I use a trackpad, so it's a little bit harder than a mouse. There we go. A little bit harder to finesse. Okay. Beth says she's downloading Affinity now. I mean, if you do not have Photoshop, or even if you do have Photoshop and it is a price burden, I highly recommend getting Affinity and starting to learn it, because it's going to do things that, and if you have the Photoshop plan where it's the photography plan, I think it's only $20 a month. And you don't have Adobe Illustrator or Adobe InDesign, then you'd want this also, because this has InDesign. It has layout, which is the InDesign. It has vector, which is like Illustrator, pixel, which is like Photoshop, and then layout, which is like InDesign. So you could do make a little mini magazine of your art or something and mock that up. And then it has the Canva AI, which is super fun too. You can generate some images and stuff. Beth says she has Photoshop, but this seems like a good tool, and she doesn't have Illustrator or InDesign. Exactly. So, and because it's free, why not learn it and see if you like it? Because if you like it and it does everything you need and nothing is missing in here from Photoshop. I mean, I think I only found one thing that was missing that I really wanted? Oh, when we were doing um the kerning between the letters. Yeah. It didn't have fine tuning. It just has more, less, less. Um, but yeah, it really does have most of what most people will want. And free is always good. Yes, Beth, I agree. It says yes. It's they when they launched it, they said it would be free forever. So now, does that mean there won't be some like upgrades you could probably buy? And notice like how we couldn't take off the background without having Canva. You have to have the pro version of Canva. It does connect to your Canva account, so you'll download Affinity and then you'll log into your Canva and it'll connect to your Affinity, and that's how you get the Canva integrated tools into Affinity, get them to work. So if you only have a free plan, you won't get anything with a little crown next to it. You'll have to have the upgraded plan. And the upgraded plan is $20 a month. So there is that. If if you're paying $20 a month for Photoshop and $20 a month for Canva, now you could pay just $20 and use Affinity and Canva and kind of be set. And Beth has Canva Pro. Yes. So. Oh, okay. I haven't been on the iPad on it. Jill says it's separated into 3 apps for iPad: Designer, Photo, and Publisher. So Designer must be the vector, and then Photo is the pixel, and Publisher is the layout that's on here, like InDesign. So yeah, pretty fun. I hope you guys go and play with this. I hope you go make some ads, and done is better than perfect. Go make some ads, post them on Pinterest, and start selling some stuff. Yeah, let's sell some stuff this week. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Happy Chinese New Year again. Have a great I'm always worried I'm going to press the end stream instead of the stop sharing. Have a great Chinese New Year. Year of the Fire Horse. Oh my gosh, so excited. I think it's going to be wonderful. And go sell some stuff. I'll see you tomorrow night. Mwah! Love you all. Good night.